What did I just watch? Hello Internet, it is I, the Roshi, and I'm back with another reaction. This time, something that was unexpected, I think from everybody. A Suicide Squad Isekai? I have no idea what to expect. I only see the thumbnail of Harley Quinn. She looking good, so you know I had to hit that play button. Let's get into it. What? What did I just watch? That was insane. That was all over the place. It has Isekai in the title. I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, I know what an Isekai is, but I guess I didn't grasp that idea. This is completely out of left field. The question is, how do I feel about it? I'm surprised. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I'm actually just completely caught off guard. Despite that, I'm going to look into this anyway and just to see what little things I can pull from it, maybe. So yeah, let's get into the breakdown bit. Despite this being under a minute long, they showed a lot of stuff, and I'm just going to go piece by piece through it and seeing what I can find out. Here we have a wonderful image of the Harley Quinn. She is not happy in this scene. She is either in some kind of office space. Okay, it could definitely just be this place. I like this dance that she's doing. Just her bubbliness peeking through. And this is a WIT Studio production, or WIT, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. They do like Attack on Titan and Vinland Saga and stuff like that. Okay. And here we have this interpretation of the Joker, which is a little different, but still has the feel of the Joker, right? Yeah, usually the Joker just has the red paint over his mouth, like the lipstick or makeup or whatever he uses. But this time, this Joker actually has teeth drawn, which is an interesting touch. It definitely gives a more menacing feeling from further away, as his actual mouth is a little more obscured and you see more of the lines of the teeth. So it does look like a evil or chaotic grin. It's interesting though, because the Joker has always had this clown vibe to him, right? The clown prince of crime, he's supposed to. But with that little touch, it's not just clown. Now it's a horror clown. We're like hinting at like It clown territory right now with that kind of makeup going on. Not saying characters with pointy teeth are all evil, but the Joker is a bad guy. And when you have a bad guy with a visual representation of some kind of pointy teeth, it looks pretty evil. And here we have Ari Osada as the director. Admittedly, I don't know who they are, so I had to kind of look up things that they've worked on. They've worked on things such as Jujutsu Kaisen and JoJo, which I've seen neither of those things, but they're pretty good, right? Or so it seems. This here actually reminds me of Batman the Animated Series, where you'd have Joker use his laughing gas a lot, and when people would breathe it in, they'd get stun locked with a horrible twisted grin on their face. Pretty much dead, but they didn't actually say that, right? And I know that they did that because at the time they didn't want characters just dying left and right. However, in my opinion, I think the freaking laughing stun gas was 1,000 times more horrifying. Here we have some more Harley Quinn wielding her baseball bat. What I like about this is that they combined Harley Quinn's old style and newer style. She's got the punk feel like Margot Robbie has had in the movies portraying her, but they stuck to the red and black half and half color scheme that she's had in older animations. I really like that. It's paying homage to the original while keeping it modern. Okay, you got some card trick shenanigans here, and it looks like on the card itself, um, okay, you have a very ornate pattern on the edges and the center. There's like some checkered border stuff going on. You know, very much looks like a playing card you would see. However, there is a symmetrical like Joker face or a like evil jester looking face, right? You have this evil smile, and then it looks like the top part of the head is cloaked or masked, and it's kind of twisted like a Harley Quinn hat would be. Interesting. Okay. I don't know, maybe they have some kind of purpose, maybe it's some kind of weapon, or maybe it's just for the sake of being swag. This Joker mobile is very custom. They have their personal like gear shifts. And I just noticed that the Joker is playing a keyboard or straight up piano because there are multiple pedals, as if they're, you know, as there would be for a piano. But if this is actually what I'm seeing, he is operating his vehicle that way. Or he just has a piano installed in it. I don't know exactly what's going on here. That's pretty wild. This Joker here definitely has a more punk look to him, which is reminiscent of the Jared Leto version of the Joker, which I wasn't too big of a fan of. However, I do think this design is more acceptable. For me, it's not so much about the looks of the Joker, but rather the Joker's personality and how that Joker expresses himself. For example, my favorite Joker of all time is the one that Mark Hamill would voice. I like the Heath Ledger Joker. No disrespect to other Jokers, but Mark Hamill takes the cake. Can't beat Mark Hamill. And now we have a more close-up look of their faces here, which I actually I like these expressions that they have going on. It kind of looks like they're accepting a challenge. For all we know, they're driving into all those armored jeeps, and they're like, really? Because they're crazy like that. And then we get a dragon. I call on the blue-eyes white dragon. A very detailed dragon. And it's taken off somewhere. Looks like there's another one or some other creature at the very... Look, no, there's multiples of these dragons, I guess. We have these barbarian boar or pigmen who actually just killed something and looks like they're threatening their next target, which is probably Harley and Joker. Harley again swinging her bat around in the city, and they use this as a transition to go back into the fantasy world where we're seeing knights again. We're seeing these more beast-like men. Maybe they're on the same faction as the boar people, maybe not. But they are fighting these knights. We have the Joker again, this time hanging out with some knives. It's a little, at least this pose is a little reminiscent of the Jared Leto Joker again. However, the Joker in general, you know, likes knives. They're more personal. Forget her name, but this is the person who is in charge of organizing the Suicide Squad, right? So seeing this, there will probably be other Suicide Squad members, you know, other villains that will be introduced. I don't think we see any in this little teaser, but that's probably because, of course, Harley Quinn and Joker are going to be the selling points, so we focused on them here. It will be interesting to see what other members they will introduce because, you know, there's been all sorts of movies and remakes at this point in time that, and I believe that they used different characters for them. Yeah, and then the title screen, Suicide Squad Isekai. Just looking at this, I mean, you have the Suicide Squad logo, but in the background, you've got this fantasy sword with a magical swipe. So they will definitely be in a fantasy world, as we've seen clips of, causing all sorts of chaos. If I had to come up with some kind of theory as to what was going to be happening in this series, I would guess that the Suicide Squad is formed and they are put on a mission. And as we know, the Suicide Squad go on missions where they are most likely going to die. The Suicide Squad members are just going to straight up die. And what happens when you die in an isekai? Well, that's how isekai usually starts. Character dies and they end up waking up in another world. So what we managed to see here in these 48 seconds is the setup for episode 1, maybe 2, but probably episode 1, where these characters are gathered together and they're sent off on a actual suicide mission, as they do, and then they die, and then they wake up in a fantasy world, and then chaos ensues in that fantasy world, and it's just comical. There's shenanigans, there's death, there's chaos, and hopefully a fun time. The music was a lot of fun. This anime art style is very clean looking, and I'm very excited to hear what these characters are going to sound like. It's a little hard to say right now, but this could potentially be a banger of a series. I would say this is a pleasant surprise, and I hope it's done well. But we will have to wait and see to find out. Well, with that said, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like and maybe share it with a friend. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. You know, do all those fun, cool YouTube things that make me happy. I do appreciate it. And if you're still here, if you are hearing me right now, then please, in the comment section down below, in your message, please write "killer joke," and that way I will know that you are indeed a real one. Thank you so much for joining me. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.